this is Kat's Diamond Painting. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've joined me here before. Today I'm going to be doing a kitten chat while I kit up butterflies in the garden, my next project. And this is artwork by Joelle McIntyre. So it's my first piece of art that I've done from Joelle McIntyre. She has several licensed with Diamond Art Club. And I've been looking forward to doing this one ever since I bought it in their 4th anniversary sale that happened at the end of last April, I believe. So I have already unboxed this on the channel. If you want to see the full details, do go check that out. It was, I can't remember exactly what it's called. I'll try and link it above now. But yeah, it was in May and it was the sort of 4th anniversary unboxing. So it's 76 by 56 centimetres and it's a square painting. So a sort of medium-sized project for me. So I'm currently working on Gingerbread House. Oops. And also on Hugs for Hiccup. So I have 2 whips on the go and I'm not exactly sure when I'll get round to starting this, but it's coming up to the Easter holidays, so my son's going to be around. I'm not going to have as much of a chance to film. And also I'm not entirely sure, I might want to break from my current whips further down the line and want to have a different one kitted up. So that's why I'm going ahead and sorting this today. Right, so here are my colours. I'm hoping these aren't staticky because I haven't put them in the freezer or anything. They are, as I say, from April, when I don't believe there was a particular issue with static at that time, so hopefully they'll be alright. Okay, 47 colours. So a fair amount to be working with. I think I'm going to use my Elizabeth Ward style storage today. And I'm going to get that sorted and then come back to you. A kitten chat, by the way, is my most common version of a Wip'n'Chat. So if you're not sure what I'm going to be doing today, basically I'm going to be kitting this up into my storage containers and just chatting along as I go, filling you in on all things in my life at the moment. Right, I will be back soon, set up and ready to go. Okay, so the first thing that I like to do when starting a new project that comes with a sticker sheet like this is to make a copy of it in my photocopier / printer thingy. The reason for that is that I will use this as a key and it will just help me if I can't see the legends on the side of the painting at all times, because I work on an easel so they might be rolled up. I'll be able to see it on here. So I'm just going to cut that out. Excuse me if my voice sounds really nasal and strange today, by the way. I seem to have picked up a cold, unfortunately. I'm just hoping I'm not going to really come down with it and feel grotty. So far I feel mostly okay, but yeah, you can hear it in my voice, I think, today. I didn't sleep very well either. I wasn't very comfy. A lot of aches and pains, and I think some of that is normal for me because I do have issues with my muscles, but some of it was maybe a little bit to do with, you know, just a very mild flu-y feeling. Right, let me put these to the side. So, my setup for kitting up. I have a big bowl here where I will put all of the wrappers from the drills. I have a tray that I'll kit up over just to minimise spillage. Well, not minimise spillage, catch spillage. I've got, that's my drills, I've got one of my Elizabeth Ward style storage cases here set up with 47 colours that I've picked fairly randomly just to fit in the tray. And then I've got another one nearby so I can adjust the sizes of pots that I use if needed. Okay, I feel like I'm forgetting something, but I think that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, my sticker sheet, I haven't cut that. There we are. So I'm going to find the smallest bags of drills first, because Diamond Art Club arranges them in size order, and put those in my little small pots. And then I can kind of go from there and work my way up through the bigger pots. yeah. The reason I picked this one out of my stash, by the way, I really like this one. I've always loved this one since I bought it. And I just thought it was really nice and sort of spring-like. Well, summery, I suppose. And we're heading towards that part of the year, aren't we? Lots of really bright colours, which, as you probably know by now, is my jam. I also looked at it and saw quite a lot of sections of colour blocking that will go reasonably quickly. So yeah, I thought that this would be a fun one to take out next. So how are you doing today? How is everyone? I'm trying to think. I think this video is going to go up just after Easter. I'm filming it right at the end of March because I've been filming lots and lots to get ahead of myself so that I don't need to film in the Easter holidays when my son is home and when we're away for part of it. So right now when you're watching this, if you're watching it when it goes live, we'll have just had Easter weekend and I'm actually away right now in West Wales. So yeah, how was your Easter? I don't know if it works the same everywhere. In the UK, Easter is, we get a really long weekend. We get Good Friday and Easter Monday are both bank holidays, which is the day when people aren't generally in work. So people really look forward to Easter for that reason, apart from anything else. Because it's really nice to have that time off work and have time with family. And we've got a few things planned, actually. Our Easter holidays look really busy. So my son will be off school after this Friday. And then we've got the weekend with a few bits and bobs, seeing some friends and football and all that kind of thing. And then he's going away to stay with my in-laws, his grandparents, for a night. They always like to have him in the holidays if they can. And they take him out and do really fun things like bowling. And they go play foot golf or mini golf or things like that. And then my husband and I get a bit of time just to us as well, which is nice. And then I'm not really sure. I was going to book my son into this football camp for next week for one day when his friends were going. But I'm not sure it's running because I don't think they have many people say they want to go. So, we'll see about that. But the other thing that we're going to be doing is a big clear out of my son's wardrobe. Fun times, eh? So he really likes his clothes. But he really likes them. He gets quite attached to them. And of course, he's a child, he's growing, so clothes don't last forever. And it's this constant battle to help him let go of the clothes that he really loves that he's grown out of. And then to keep him obviously in clothes that fit him all right. But equally, his wardrobe and his chest of drawers and everything are totally full. And he complains about it. He complains about how full they are whilst also not wanting to let go of things. So we've made a deal for the Easter holidays. We're going to go through and clear out all his things that are far too small for him together. And then in return, we're going to go on a shopping spree. So it's going to be expensive for me, but it helps him to kind of come to terms with it because he loves buying new clothes. So that's his sort of trade-off, because his ideal world is that he would get new clothes that fit him better, but he'd still keep all his old ones that are too small. And yeah, that's not realistic. We do not have limitless space, far from it. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. Probably set up another couple of play dates and that kind of thing for him to see friends. And then in the middle of the holidays, Easter weekend, we are going to Cardiff. First of all, on the Saturday of Easter weekend, we're having a bit of a family party for my brother-in-law, who is turning 60. And then, oh, look, I've already been spilling drills. How do I do it? So we're going to all get together. I think all of us. I'm not entirely sure if my brother can come, but yeah, hopefully most of us at least, to celebrate his birthday. And then the day after that, on the Sunday, we are going to West Wales to my parents' caravan with them, which is something we haven't done for years, is go down there with them. So I'm really looking forward to it. We're going down for 4 nights. And yeah, I talked about it in the summer because we had our summer holiday there. But basically, they have this caravan in sort of West Wales, Cardigan Bay area. And we've always gone there. Like, it's been in my family since about, well, the 1970s, I think my grandparents first bought a caravan there. So it's a big part of my life. And my son loves it there. And it's a real treat to get down there. So yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun Easter holidays. Oh, I think this tray is about due a bit of a wash. It's just starting to get drills sticking in it a little bit. So yeah, what's been new with you? Let me know what's going on in your world. I love to hear from you in the comments. And I will respond to as many comments as I possibly can. So yeah, drop me a comment and let me know what's up with you. What plans have you got for Easter? Oh my goodness, it's driving me mad how many times I leave a drill in the tray. And I don't see it till I've put it away. Gotta be more careful. More haste, less speed, cat. You need to just check the tray before you move on to the next colour. So, what have I been up to? It's been a couple of weeks since I last did a chatty video, so I'm just sort of thinking back. The weekend before last, I think, was pretty quiet. We had football, my son's football game. I think I was diamond painting quite a lot, but I've been struggling with neck ache, like I've mentioned it before. But it has been particularly bad recently, so I've been trying to rest it a lot and do lots of exercises and stretches and things to help it feel better. So yeah, I think I was diamond painting quite a lot, but probably more than I should have been because, yeah, it's not feeling great. I was cat sitting that weekend, one of my regulars, a really, really sweet little cat called Kira, who I've looked after several times before. She's adorable. She's such a petite little cat. I think she would fit into my big lump of a cat 2 or 3 times over. Can't quite reach those properly. And she was really, really friendly this time. She's quite shy. I think she's a rescue cat. So sometimes she's a bit more skittish than others, but this time she must have just really wanted company because she was kind of all over me, which was lovely. I've got another cat sitting job coming up in Easter as well for another of my sort of semi-regulars, a cat called Nigel. But I don't actually see much of him because he's a rescue cat and he's very, very nervous still. So he doesn't want anything to do with me. Like, me trying to stroke him to keep him company would be very traumatic. So the deal with him is I go in and do what needs to be done. And then I leave. And when I'm leaving, I just sort of hang around outside the back door for a little bit. And I watch through the door when he comes down to have his food. So then I can just have eyes on him and let his owners know that he's okay. But yeah, so he's easy to look after, but it keeps him happy and healthy at home. So yeah. Okay. Ooh. Just cutting that, and there's a sort of mangled drill caught in there. It was Mother's Day as well. Here in the UK, it's always in March. So yeah, it was Mother's Day that weekend. I couldn't see my own mum because, well, she was away. But I don't generally see her for it anyway because they live a couple of hours drive away. We don't go back normally unless we're going for a full weekend, and that wasn't possible. We did come up with a present for her. I can't remember. I feel like I might be repeating myself. I do hope I haven't covered this already in a recent video, but I'll just quickly cover it off in case I haven't. We got her a pair of bellows. She wanted a pair of bellows for their open fire they have in their house. She saw one while she was out and she was like, oh, I wish I had these. So we all got together and got her a pair of handmade, really nice bellows, which is such a random thing, but she was happy. and I got treated by my boys at home. I had to stay upstairs while they were cooking. And there were lots of nice baking smells, but I didn't really know what they were doing because it was going to be a sort of brunchy lunch type thing. Anyway, they made us a sort of afternoon tea, but to eat at lunchtime, because I'd already asked my husband to make me this particular meal in the evening that I really like, that he cooks well. So yeah, they baked scones, they baked biscuits, they made finger sandwiches. It was lovely. I think afternoon tea is quite a British thing, isn't it? So yeah, you have scones and cakes and biscuits and little finger sandwiches. And typically you have it in the afternoon, as the name suggests. But yeah, that was really sweet. And my son was really involved, which is nice. I think he made up all the finger sandwiches. Because they did it at school once. I think they did it for the Jubilee last year. They taught them how to make finger sandwiches. So he's like, I know how to make finger sandwiches. I mean, it's literally just sandwiches cut into long thin strips, which I wouldn't even have known before he came home, all proud that he could do them. But yes, it was yummy. And then we just chilled for most of the day. Like, we don't tend to do a huge amount for it. I don't like to go out for a meal because everywhere's really busy and they've got special menus on that cost lots of money. I was just happy hanging out at home with them. And as I say, my husband cooked one of my favourite meals in the evening. It's just this pork chop recipe. It came from a cookbook we've had for years by Mary Berry. And it's like a mustard and honey pork chop and then this lovely sort of parsley cream sauce. So yeah, we had that. Yummy. Oh, and my son got me a lovely fridge magnet. I like my fridge magnets. We've collected them a bit when we go away on holiday places. So he got me one that said, Mummy and me are besties forever. Which was really sweet. I like it a lot. It went straight up on the fridge. Right, how many more of these little ones have I got in here? Because these bags are getting thicker, but I am going to need to fit them, I think, in these small ones for as long as I can. Otherwise, I've got a couple of these in here, and maybe I won't use those. Maybe I'll switch them for smaller ones. Anyway. So, yeah. Then last Monday, we had a nice day trip. My husband had got for his dad for Christmas or his birthday or something a couple of years ago, a trip for them to go to this, I think it was a distillery or a brewery or something. I don't know. They had wine and they had beer there. But anyway, they had a tour, sort of learned how things were made, had a tasting, that kind of thing. And my in-laws had come down towards us for that. That was sort of near Henley. But then they were going on to London to see one of their other sons who's, well, he was having work done on his house, but they had people doing it last year and then the builders kind of ran off with their money and left them with a incomplete job. And my father-in-law is a carpenter by trade. He's actually sort of mostly retired now. But he's done a lot of the work for them because after the original builders ran off with their money, of course, you know, they were left with a house that was incomplete with walls knocked through. They had a young child and another one on the way. Yeah, absolute mess. So luckily, my father-in-law is very generous with his time and his expertise and has done a lot of the work for them. So they were going on to London after they saw us. So my mother-in-law was there as well. So basically she said, do you want to come over and we'll do something together? So I went over to Henley with them and we went to a National Trust property near Henley. National Trust is like this organisation in the UK. They take over sort of old stately homes, like really big, huge homes, when the families maybe move on or they can't afford to keep them anymore because, you know, it costs a lot to keep those homes. And then they're open to the public. So it was called, what was it called? Gray's Court. And it was really interesting. The house itself was decorated not, you know, as though it was lived in centuries ago. It was actually decorated fairly recently, you know, within the 20th century when the family still lived there. So that was, you know, interesting, but maybe a bit less interesting than I would have found it if it had been really, really old. Because I love, like, really old history. But the house did have a lot of Tudor history. And I find that a really fascinating period of history. So the Tudors were the monarchs of England, really, in between sort of 1485 and I think it was 1601. And it's just a really interesting period in history. Something about it has always fascinated me. So there was just some interesting stuff to read about the families who used to live there. What am I doing? Okay. So these are bigger strips. So now I'm going to move into the next size up of tray. Oh, I've got one little one left. Can any of these fit? That might fit. Let's have a go. This is the only one that might fit. Is the smallest one I've got left. I'm going to try putting it in first before I put the label on in case it goes horribly wrong. Anyway, I was reading all about this woman, Lettice, I think she was called, and just how she kind of really managed herself for the time, you know. You think of it as being a time when women had very little voice, very little say, and she just really managed to be a bit of a boss, to have wealth independent of her husband or husbands, because she married several times. I guess people died a lot more back then. And yeah, it was really interesting. And then her children and their relationships to the monarchs. I think one of her grandchildren angered Queen Elizabeth I by marrying Robert Dudley, I think, who was thought to be her lover. So yeah, interesting stuff. And are they the same? No. It would probably help if I did this the way around where I can see the DMC codes, wouldn't it? I also had a physio update last week. I'm having physio. So when I went to get the sort of muscular issues that I've had investigated, they referred me for several tests and things, most of which have now come back as normal, which is, you know, good in that they haven't found anything bad, but frustrating in the sense of I don't have any explanation for why I have all these pain issues. But anyway, they referred me for physio as part of it as well. So I've met with him, I think this was the third time. So I'm just having regular catch-ups, adjusting what I'm doing, getting new exercises. I went in there last time saying, you know, I'm getting really bored of the current exercises and it's making me lose motivation. So I got a few different ones to mix in just to keep a bit of variety and freshness to it. It's going okay. Sometimes I think that they're starting to help. I'm like 2 months in. And the thing with physio is that it's obviously a long process. You can't expect to start doing exercises and they just instantly help. But it is hard when you're a couple of months in and you don't necessarily feel much improvement. I don't know. Sometimes I think things are a little bit better. Sometimes I think there's not really been a change yet. So we'll see. I'll keep sticking away at it. I'll keep going, but yeah, I want to deal with these muscular issues. I don't want to have my shoulders and neck seizing up when I do things like carefully diamond paint sitting at an easel for a while, and I don't want to have pain issues when I'm just sitting on a comfy sofa for a bit, and I don't want my sleep to be disturbed anymore because, yeah, I think the worst thing at the moment is just how often I can't sleep very well. You know, I don't get really deep sleep because I'm sort of shuffling around in my sleep, trying to get comfy, I suppose. And then I often wake up really achy and sore. So, yes, it's tricky. Does anyone have any suggestions for things I could try? Because part of the kind of management of it all. Oh, the cat wants to go out of the room. The physio exercises are obviously important to hopefully improve the issue, strengthen muscles that might be weak and might be causing other muscles to have to work too hard. So hopefully that would actually improve things overall. But in the meantime, I often need to really work at things. You know, I've got various gadgets and things for like helping me to stretch muscles, helping me to massage muscles. But yeah, if anyone out there watching has similar issues and has any tips for me or things that they've tried that help, let me know. I would really be interested to know. Because recently, like when my neck's been particularly bad, it's honestly been quite depressing, quite poor for my mental health, because I work on my diamond paintings at an easel. I sit carefully, I'm very aware of my posture, I take regular breaks. So I'm not sure why that is still making my neck seize up. Obviously, it's better than if I work flat, but yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go on about it, but if anyone has any tips or anything they can suggest or anything they've tried, let me know. I'm all ears. What else has been happening? So this last weekend just gone, we had our niece to stay, my husband's brother's daughter. Actually the same one who's having work done. So we said for Christmas this year, because they were mid having all this work done and she had loads of things already and they didn't want her to just have a big pile of presents. So we decided to take her out for the day somewhere for her Christmas present. And then we said, well, you know, we'll have her for a night as well. That will help out and give them more of a break. And then the way it worked out, we were talking about weekends in March, and my brother-in-law was off on a stag do this weekend just gone. And they now have a new baby as well. She was born in November, so not that new anymore, I guess. And she can be a little hard work. She's been suffering with colic. So to help my sister-in-law out, so she didn't have the two kids by herself all weekend, we took the older one for the weekend. She's 3 and she is absolutely as good as gold. She is, you know, so easy for a 3-year-old. But I have to say it was quite funny how out of practice we were, because my son's 9. It's a long time since we were dealing with a 3-year-old. So even one that was as good as gold, it's like, oh, what do we do with her? And when I say that, I felt like that. My husband's great with kids. He was absolutely fine with her. But yeah, it was great fun to have her, actually. And I'm glad we were able to help them out. We weren't entirely sure on the Thursday night if she'd be able to come, because she was just a little bit under the weather. She had a bit of a cough. And they'd said, you know, we might have to reschedule if necessary. So when my son went off to school on Friday morning, he wasn't sure if she was going to be coming or not, because we hadn't heard from him yet that she was doing okay. And he was so gutted that she might not be able to come. He was like, oh, it's not fair. My cousin time always goes wrong. He was a bit scarred from a time last year that we were going to have a cousin on my side of the family to stay. And then people got ill at the last minute. But yeah, we went to pick them up from school. We went to pick him up from school with her. And you sort of go around the back of the school and they're queuing up for you. And I saw his face and he looked miserable. He looked so sad and grumpy. And I was like, oh no, we've got her for the weekend. Is he ill or something? What's happened? Anyway, it turned out that he could only see me and my husband at that point. Because she's, you know, a little one. She's 3. She was like toddling along next to my husband. And he couldn't see her amidst the crowd of people. And as we drew closer, he spotted her and he just had the biggest grin on his face. So yeah, he just looked miserable because he thought she hadn't come. Bless him. He really adores her. He adores all his cousins. He has 6 older cousins on my side of the family. And then on this side of the family, he's the oldest. My husband's side of the family, that is. Of what is soon going to be 4. So yeah, he gets both ends of it. He gets to be the youngest one that everyone, looks out for on one side of the family, and then he gets to be that person on the other side of the family. And he's really nice and patient with her. It's very sweet to watch them. What's the smallest? These ones, maybe? There's a lot of bags that are quite similar sizes, to be honest. As long as they just about fit in these, will be alright. $4.98. So yes, she came on the Friday. We didn't do much the Friday evening. And then Saturday morning, we had plans to go out in the afternoon, but I took my son to his football game because we didn't want to all go because it would be far too long, really, for a 3-year-old to stay entertained just standing around watching and not joining in. But we didn't want my son to miss it. And also, as much as he loved having her there, we were conscious he's not used to having a younger kid around all the time. He needs some time to do his own thing and just, enjoy his weekend and his break from school as well. So I took him to football, and oh my goodness, it was one of the most exciting games. I'm trying to work out where that's come from. Is it that one? It's a bit marked anyway. I'll ignore that one. So they started off and they went 1-0 up. And then the other team scored 2 goals. So they were 2-1 down. And it was getting towards the end, and it was a shame because, they'd played really well. Kind of felt like they maybe were the team that deserved to win on the day. Quite evenly matched, the two teams. We'd played this team before, and last time they won, and they were the better team on that day. And this time, I kind of feel like our guys have maybe had the edge for playing a little bit better. And it's a shame that it looks like they're going to lose. So we get to about 3 minutes to go, and one of our team equalises. And we cheered so loudly as parents on the sidelines. We actually got some dirty looks from the parents of the other team. It's not the done thing to take it too seriously at this age, because they're little kids, they shouldn't have to hear parents screaming out loud in excitement if a goal is scored against them and that kind of thing. Like, I get all that. I totally get that. But, we're humans. We all got a bit overexcited because that is exciting when that happens at the end of the game. I just need to work out these because I seem to have a lot of bags still compared to how many containers I've got. I think a lot of these are doubled and even tripled up, but I'm just going to check before I go any further to make sure that I've got the right amount. Okay, so, there's another 310. Okay, so 3 310s, 3 906s. So they're big ones that are going to need a big container. And then I've got 3 doubles, so that's 5 colours. And then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, I've got 11 in there. Yeah, should be alright then. Right, where was I in the story? So yeah, they scored this goal with very little time to go, and I was just thinking, yes, hold it a draw. A draw is better than, a loss. Don't let the other team score. But then with probably less than a minute to go, our team scored again. So obviously the parents disgraced themselves again, shouting very loudly, but we were excited. It was just, it was great. They were playing it well. It was a great performance, and we were happy to see them win. So yeah, really happy that I took my son and got to see it. My husband was at home, and I was sending him updates. And normally he's always there. I don't go every single week, but my husband is always there because he's the assistant coach on the team. But this week he'd stayed home because our niece is just more comfortable with him than me because, well, he's a bit of a child whisperer. Kids always love him. I don't have the same knack that he does. But anyway, I was sending him updates. So he was kind of experiencing it vicariously through me. And then in the afternoon, we went to this farm, sort of nearish to Oxford. I can't remember what it's called. It won't stick in my brain. It used to be the Green Dragon Eco Farm. It's a hog something, I don't know. But anyway, it's a good place. They've got some little, like, go-kart type things for the kids to go on. Loads and loads of animals, like from farm animals to not so much farm animals, some more exotic things. You can feed some of the animals. Yeah, lots going on there. And like a big bouncy pillow cushion, which our niece went on the smaller version of, and she wasn't very sure at first. But then she kind of got her nerve for it when other kids had got off it, and in the end spent about 45 minutes on it, I think. And then Sunday we took her home. We drove her all the way back home to London so that my sister-in-law didn't need to come out with the baby. And we stayed and had some lunch and saw them for a bit and then drove back. So it was a nice, full, busy weekend. Lots going on. But that's fun, isn't it? It's fun to have some busy weekends in there. Oh, this is annoying. And this week, I've just been continuing with cracking on with videos, really, getting myself all set up. This is why I'm recording them way in advance, so that I don't have to do any filming and editing during the Easter holidays when I'm going to be either busy or not here, which is also busy, but you know what I mean. So yeah, this one, I filmed the one that you'll see on Friday, I filmed yesterday, and this one is going up the Tuesday of the second week of the holidays. So then, apart from editing them, I'm all sorted now. But it has taken me a while to get on top of things. I do feel good for having it done, though. Okay, almost there. Oh, yesterday, my son had his debut in the school band. He's been playing trumpet this year. They had the opportunity to pick up an instrument, and he picked up the trumpet. I think it was just trumpet, actually. It was Who Wants to Learn the Trumpet this year. And then they're in a band with the year 5s the next year up. And they had some kids playing the horn and some playing the saxophone. And they put on this concert. And do you know what? I fit those in. Just about, if I'm very careful how I close it. And of course I've left one out. So yeah, I have to say, if I'm honest, I wasn't particularly looking forward to it. I was thinking it'd be really cool to see him, and I'm really proud of him for working hard at it all year. But I was not expecting it to sound as good as it did. That probably sounds really harsh, but I thought I was just being realistic about the nature of these young kids playing instruments. But they absolutely knocked it out of the park. They had someone playing keyboard as well, and they had the music teacher was always playing one of the brass instruments as well. So I guess that really helped to keep them on track. But they were brilliant, and my son looked so happy and proud. I was so chuffed for him. Really, really enjoyed watching him. Can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? Will it close? That is really, really full. Problem is, it's going to give me problems every time I use that container as well. It's just about alright. Oh, I feel tired. Just thinking about what to make for dinner tonight. The eternal question, what to make for dinner. I can't remember what I've meal planned, because I do meal plan, but then quite often I change things up if I just don't fancy making what I've meal planned. And I'm thinking it might need to be an easy stuff out of the freezer kind of a night. I am not feeling cooking particularly. We'll see. Maybe I'll get a second wind later. Let me know what you're eating tonight. Give me inspiration. I like to try new things. I really like trying different things. I get very bored having the same things over and over again. So I want all the ideas for different things to have that the family might enjoy. My husband's vegetarian, but it doesn't need to be vegetarian because we've got pretty good over the years at just adapting recipes. There's not many recipes really where we can't just switch something out for him. I can hear my camera buzzing a little bit. I really hope that isn't coming across in the recording. I don't know why it's doing that. Anyway, so are these all gonna? Oh, it's gonna be tight as to whether all three of them fit. They're quite fat bags. Let's see. Lots of lovely greens in this painting. All that grass. But then I love all these bright pinks for the butterflies as well. And the flowers. It's going to be really pretty. Right, I'm going for it. I'm just trusting that it's going to fit. Yeah, we're all right. Last colour. Quite a lot of black in it actually, isn't there? I wonder where all that black's coming in, because it doesn't look like a painting that'd have lots of black. There's obviously some in the butterflies. I'm guessing some things have been outlined maybe in black. We shall see. Ugh, spilling things as usual. It's been really nice kitting up a project with no static in the drills. It's been a while, I think, since I've done one where all of the colours were fine. Okay. There we are. And now I'm just going to get them in order. I'll probably stick with having them in the number order for this one. I don't know why, that's just the way I tend to do it. So let's have a go. Oh, where's that blue one come from? How do I do it? How do I just get drills everywhere? I don't feel like they're flying everywhere when I'm doing it. I also seem to be molting hair today because I keep finding my hairs over everything. Okay, so right, 1, there's 3, 5. We'll see how they fit this way. I can always change them around. 5, where's 6? I have to say though, when I did the mystery kit recently, I did quite like having them organised in the, when I had it by numbers and then letters and then directional ones. I did enjoy that. I will probably do that again sometime. Right now I'm just going to do this, but I'll see how I like it. So it's quite a convert to that. But what I tend to find is, once I've worked on the painting for a little bit, I just get used to where things are. So it's not really so much of a problem for me if they're in what is essentially a random order. Right, where's 9? Nine, 10, 11. You're coming in here. There's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Right, we're 17. Where's it gone? I always get stuck a few times when I just can't see for looking. There's 18. 17. This is one of the problems. I don't think they're going to fit very well this way. Right, 18, 19, 22, 23. There's 20 though. Where's 24? There we are. Where's 25? Gosh, I'm not doing this very smoothly at all today. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Actually, this is a nice sort of rainbow effect as well, because they're fairly well grouped, aren't they? The DMCs are kind of corresponding to groups of colours with this one. 31. I don't think it's going to work though, because I'm going to have to do that. $33, $34, $35, $36, $37, $38, $39, $40, $41, $42, $43, $44, $45, $46, $47. Okay, there we are. Beautiful. Okay. So that is me all done for today. Thank you for joining me today and keeping me company while I've been doing this. I hope that you have had a lovely Easter and that you're having a great day wherever you are. And I will see you again soon. Bye!